Hi Pisces, welcome to your June 2019 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So Pisces, in June, there's a strong emphasis on your fourth house of home and family, as well as the fifth house, which is of romance, the first blush of love, if you will, creativity, and the business that you own. And also just about fun. I keep forgetting, when I talk about the fifth house, I really should emphasize fun because it really is about that. And so a scenario could possibly be that, the fourth house, when I say home and family, this could also involve children. Well, this could involve, the fifth house is also about children too. The fifth house can be conceiving children. The fourth house is more of that structure, maybe the existing family as it stands right now and stuff like that. Real estate matters. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are buying a new house in June. So the sun is there for the first few weeks of the month. And this makes you very domestic, Maybe you're going to be cooking more. Maybe you're just getting prepared for a move. And so you're really absorbed in your house, getting everything together. Mars is in the fifth house all month. And Mars, it's kind of interesting about Mars because Mars can be the sex drive and the fifth house can be recreational sex. So you do the math. Well, if we're talking about children, watch out because, like I said, there could be a conception here. And Mars in the fifth house can, for some people, if you are into competitive sports, the fifth house can be sports, and Mars is very competitive. So it could be something that I even think like if you're training for the marathon, even though you're not necessarily competing against somebody else. Well, I guess marathons, they're races, right? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's winners of marathons. So obviously they're competing against others, but I mean, it could even be just competing against your own personal best. And so you're training and stuff like that. And what else would be Mars in the fifth house? Maybe if you are an artist and you're just on a roll and you're just like really stoked and you're working on a particular artistic piece night and day and you're just in the groove. On the third, we have a new moon at 12 degrees of Gemini, that fourth house. And so that could be you dealing with a new property. Or, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily, that's when you're moving into a new house. Maybe you sign for that house. Looks like Mercury is in that house until the 4th of the month. So Mercury could even be, like contracts. You may have been doing paperwork with that. And so some new beginning with home matters or family matters. And then the next day on the 4th, Mercury goes into that fifth house. And it's more of you having your mind on a creative project, or if you've met somebody new, you're talking to them. And it may not be that you're in a full-blown romance, but maybe you're flirting with them. You're interested enough to talk to them, and or communication in general. And this could even be from a remote location. I mean, you could be doing it over the internet, the phone. It's not necessarily in person even. So as a matter of fact, I'm wondering if perhaps this is more likely the scenario that you're not with that person physically. Although with Mars in the fifth house, you certainly could be, because you could be like really into some kind of an affair, hot and heavy. On the 8th, we have Venus going into Gemini, that fourth house of home and family. And Venus in the fourth, Venus can be money. So there's the possibility of, possibly maybe this is involving selling a house and receiving the money at this point. And by the way, it could go both ways. You're selling your current home and making money, and buying a new home earlier and paying money. Venus in the fourth house can be sprucing up your home, making it more attractive. So this could involve, painting it, or something that's not necessarily a big renovation, but something cosmetic that makes it look nicer. Wallpaper, putting in new curtains, or, whatever. On the 17th, there's going to be a full moon at 25 degrees of Sag, and this is your career sector, Pisces. The 10th house. And you also have Jupiter in this sector as well, Jupiter retrograding here. And sometimes Jupiter retrograding, you can have an opportunity that somehow missed you the first time around be available for you. But the full moon in the 10th house can be something finally coming to culmination for you. Maybe this is a long time coming of you finally getting your due. I've been saying recently that Pisces has had a lot of good transits through the 10th house. So maybe this is not the only time when you have benefited career-wise and you're really on a roll and you're receiving recognition for some reason. Sometimes, depending on your stage of life, the full moon in the 10th house could be retirement, or simply retiring from a particular profession, even if you're not of retirement age, because you're going to, go into a different direction. On the 21st, we have the solstice. In the northern hemisphere, it's the summer. The southern, it's the winter. And this is a power period with the sun going into a cardinal sign, in this case, Cancer. And for you, because Cancer is a water sign and it is a trine to you, this is a friendly angle. Again, more fifth house energy, the sun going into that fifth house. The sun rules the fifth house. So the sun feels at home here and is all about the fifth house matters, all about having fun, parties, romance, creativity. Just like the sun card in the tarot. On the same day, Neptune retrograde. In the first house of the self, in your sign, Pisces, Neptune retrograde, a reality check. How do you present yourself? How do you come across to others? With Pisces, especially with to me, the ascendant, because this tends to be the more prominent thing that sticks out to people. For the woman, it can be the damsel in distress, Pisces rising. For the male, it can be the lost little boy, the helpless quality. That some, and I'm sorry, I don't finish sentences sometimes. I was going to say that some can find very attractive, some people. This kind of thing can work against you because this may be like a pattern where you have often identified with being kind of like vulnerable and helpless. And, people want to kind of save you. And then you play it up, you milk it for all it's worth as you get older because you realize how effective it is. And you might even look young for your age. And that kind of also plays into all of this. But you may decide that that it's really working against you. When Neptune goes retrograde, it can expose the truth of the situation. You may be under your own spell and not see it, be in denial. And now you kind of see how you do this. Maybe somebody accuses you of doing it. And you're forced to come to terms with it. But it's all good, because anything that you can see within yourself that needs to change, go for it. You are a sign that's associated with fantasy and spirituality. But sometimes there's also this vulnerability that can be quite enchanting to other people who are used to people who are really hard, tough, insensitive even. And yet you don't want to identify with that quality to the nth degree where it veers off into anything that is disempowered, okay? And I think that this will help you to see the truth. On the 26th, Mercury goes into Leo, which is the 6th house, the opposite house of Pisces. This is Virgo's natural house. And this makes you very concerned about being organized, and you might even be kind of creating a new routine for yourself, organizing that. But definitely your mind is on the matters of the 6th house. Mercury rules that 6th house and can be about diet, so maybe it's even researching diets and health matters. And again, contracts that may connect to the workplace may be something you're taking care of right now as well. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.